Welcome to a day in the life of a Dynasplint sales consultant as we join Faith Tesoro, Orlando orthopedic sales consultant, as she prepares for her day.
I think my day really started last night. I sat in front of the computer, I planned out my day-to-day, trying to figure out what clinics I was going to go to, what I was going to talk about with those clinics. I had to look at my notes from the last time that I saw a therapist or a doctor to figure out what I talked about with the last time and what I wanted to bring in this time. Plus, I had to make sure I had called all of my patients, reminded them of their fittings, their follow-ups. It's month end, so it is sort of crunch time.
After finishing an in-service at a different therapy clinic, Faith heads off to do her first fitting and follow-up of the day.
Hey! I am here to see Raphael to set him up with his Dynasplint.
He's waiting in the back.
Okay, cool. So I talked to Dr. Crummins, and he says that he's going to be doing a debridement on the knee. And we've already given you that knee flexion Dynasplint to help with your flexion from before. But what I want to make sure of is that we maintain and even gain a little bit of the extension that you have. So that's why we're going to set you up with the extension splint today.
Today's time with Faith's patient Raphael actually has two parts. She's doing a follow-up to a previously fitted knee flexion Dynasplint. She'll check his range of motion to look for gains and make sure he's using it right. And then she's going to fit a knee extension Dynasplint.
On my way out from here, what I want to make sure to do is say goodbye to the therapist that let me borrow the space, but also make sure that they're aware of the patient that I was seeing, what type of progress the patient made, and then see if I can drum up any new business from the fitting that I just did. Hello!
Hello!
Just so you know, Raphael is doing really well. He gained 12 degrees on his flexion and 4 degrees on his extension. Just wanted to let you know so that you know he's doing well, and I'll probably be back next week to follow up with him. So I just got into my car and I have 4 voicemails already waiting for me. This is Faith calling from Dynasplint. I was just calling to follow up on your splint.
Next stop is a marketing call at another physical therapy clinic.
Hey!
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm leaving you some information.
Okay, great.
During a marketing call, a sales consultant may introduce a unit that the physical therapist isn't currently using, or talk to them about a certain class of patients, for instance, workers' compensation, or other ways that use of the Dynasplint can help their practice.
I'm leaving you the orthopedic flyer just so you have it, and then of course my business card, so if you have any questions you can email me, you can call me, but I want to make sure that we're on top of it. Of course I'll follow back up with you, but just wanted to make sure you were thinking about it as the top of your mind.
Okay, great.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it, Britt. Have a good day. So she told me that she thought the Dynasplint was going to be more expensive than the therapy was going to be. The next time I go in and speak with this therapist, I'm going to make sure that I focus on how inexpensive the Dynasplint is in comparison to the therapy costs for a patient that may be there for 2 or 3 months. So now I'm going to drive to get a CMN initialed by a physician because the CMN, although it was almost complete, was missing the date of injury. It's month end, so it's crunch time. Gotta get out of here. Next
stop is Florida Hospital.
I have this CMN that I need you to initial. I needed to add a date of injury onto it, and your signature at the bottom doesn't make this change doable. One of my favorite things about this job are really just the relationships that I form. Dr. Mincer is a primary example. You know, he's extremely warm, loves when I come in. We always joke around when I do. He always gives me a hug. He always asks about my boyfriends. These relationships eventually turn into orders for you too. Dr. Mincer is my top ordering shoulder physician.
We asked Faith to comment on what it takes to be successful as a sales consultant with Dynasplint.
Having a clinical understanding of anatomy is super important, but that paired with the sales knowledge too. I don't think you can be one or the other. I came in with an exercise physiology background, so when I came in, that was my understanding. I had no sales experience whatsoever, so I had to do my schooling. There's a lot of support from your managers and during the training period. If you are lacking clinical experience or lacking sales experience, there's a lot of support for you to get through and learn those things. The one thing I like to focus on is that I know that everything that I do each month eventually gets me to the goal of having the numbers that I need so that I can get my bonuses and make more money. This is money in my pocket and it's my business. So I want to make sure that I'm doing with it what I need to do to make the most amount that I can, to have the most in my pocket on top of my salary. I think the willingness to learn and having the right attitude and being positive about this position are really what are going to help you to succeed the most. I I totally understand that Dynasplint is not for everybody, but for me, it's perfect. I get the perfect balance of having a clinical job where I get to work with patients and actually see how the products I'm giving them are helping them to improve. So few sales jobs have that. But on top of that, I also have the autonomy of sales. I make my own schedule, I have my own hours. I have 100 different offices that I get to call on, which means that many more friends that I get to make. For a social person like myself, it's awesome. So good luck to you and good luck in your adventure with Dynasplint. I hope you guys do really, really well.